Jonah was a prophet of God, someone chosen to deliver God's messages of truth and warning to the people. One day, God spoke clearly to Jonah, "Go to the great city of Nineveh and warn them to stop their wicked ways, for their evil has reached me." But Jonah didn't want to go. He disliked the people of Nineveh because they were cruel, proud, and disobedient to God. Instead of obeying, Jonah ran away. He hurried to the coast, boarded a ship heading far in the opposite direction, and hid below deck, thinking he could escape God's call. But can anyone really hide from God's sight? As the ship sailed across the wide blue sea, a mighty storm began to rage without warning. The wind roared fiercely, and the waves grew higher than the mast. The sailors shouted in fear and struggled to keep the ship from breaking apart. They prayed to their gods, threw cargo overboard, and cried for help, but nothing worked. Meanwhile, Jonah was fast asleep below deck, unaware of the chaos above. The captain found him and shouted, "How can you sleep? Pray to your God that we might survive this storm." The sailors cast lots to discover who was responsible, and the lot fell on Jonah. He admitted his guilt and said, "I'm running from the Lord. Throw me into the sea, and the storm will stop." They hesitated, but finally obeyed. As soon as Jonah hit the water, the raging storm calmed, the sea grew still, and the sailors were amazed and worshipped the Lord. As Jonah sank deeper into the sea, cold water surrounded him, and he thought his life was over. Seaweed wrapped around his head, and the waves pushed him down into darkness. But God, in his mercy, sent a great fish to swallow Jonah whole and save him from drowning. Inside the fish's belly, Jonah found himself alive, but trapped in complete darkness. For 3 long days and 3 nights, he prayed earnestly. He thanked God for sparing his life and promised to obey from that moment onward. "When I was sinking, I called to you, and you heard my cry," Jonah prayed. God listened to Jonah's heart. On the 3rd day, the great fish swam near the shore and spat Jonah out on a dry land, covered in seaweed but alive and thankful. After being rescued, Jonah obeyed God's voice without delay. He walked through deserts and valleys until he reached the great city of Nineveh. Tall walls, crowded streets, and thousands of people living in sin. Jonah began to preach boldly, crying out, "In 40 days, Nineveh will be destroyed if you do not turn from your evil ways." The people listened with fear and conviction. From the poorest worker to the mighty king, everyone stopped their wrongdoings. They prayed earnestly and turned to God in humility. The king removed his royal robes, sat in ashes, and ordered everyone to fast and seek forgiveness. When God saw their changed hearts, he had compassion and decided not to destroy the city. Jonah was upset that Nineveh had been forgiven. He went outside the city, sat down in frustration, and said, "I knew you are a kind, loving, and merciful God, slow to anger and full of compassion." Jonah built a small shelter and sat under it, watching the city, waiting to see what would happen. God caused a leafy plant to grow overnight and give him shade, bringing him comfort. But the next morning, God sent a worm to wither the plant, and the hot sun beat down on Jonah's head. Jonah became angry again, but God spoke gently to him. "You care about this plant, yet it lived only a day. Should I not care for Nineveh, where thousands of people live who do not know right from wrong?" Jonah realized God's love was not just for him or his people, but for everyone who seeks him.